I feel like most men, it doesn't mean you have to do it with them, but it's just like it's something that they want in their life and to do. Correct?
Right.
Sometimes it is with them.
But did you hear them?
Right.
Because if you didn't hear them and motherfucker says, hey, I think I'm going to go hiking this. And you're like, no, because we need to do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you just stepped on the thing that I told you that I need.
It's so funny because literally hiking, camping, not my vibe. And I've seen on like dating profiles, a guy will say like, I am looking for someone to like go camping and hiking with.
Yes.
And I see that and I go, great for you, not for me. Right. But I'm not going to match with that guy.
Right.
And then try to be like, well, we could change.
And that happens all the time.
The camping.
Because there's women who will look at that profile and be like, this guy's hot. And then they match with him. And then he wants to go hiking. And they're like, oh, yeah, but my friend is having this birthday party I told her we would go to. And then you stepped on this motherfucker's hike.
You also stepped on his freedom. That's the other part.
Right.
You're taking away like the freedom.
Right.
And it's like just.
And then they're like, hey, but I don't get it. I'm so good to you. I'm so.
Yeah.
He told you. Like, I swear to God, he told you.
It was pretty clear. Yeah.
And too oftentimes that happens, unfortunately, that, like I bet you if you ask most people in a relationship, what are the whatever things that this person absolutely needs, whatever, to be happy, most people wouldn't know.
Yeah, they often don't.
Yeah, they just try to figure out what we could do together that's a good time. Not what does this person need, but women who are in tune with what this motherfucker needs are in relationships. Because every time I meet women who are like, oh yeah, I know what John needs. He needs X, Y, Z. I'm good.
Yeah.
We are good here.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Shooters Gotta Shoot. I am your host, Erica Spira, and we have a great episode for you guys this week. Real quick, before I get to my guest, 2 things you can do to help us out. You can subscribe on the YouTube page. You're already here. Just hit the button. It's right there. It's free. It really helps us out. Or if you got a little cash in your pocket, you can join our Patreon, which is patreon.com/shootersgottashoot. We are paying for the studio from the Patreon. So I appreciate all the support that you guys are helping out with over there. It's just $5 a month. It's like buying us a coffee every month, all right? To help us pay our dope producer, Fonzie, and for the space. And last but not least, guys, I have a promo code for you. You've heard of them before. SunsetLakeCBD.com. If you want CBD products, you want these ones. They come straight from the farm in Vermont. They're already the lowest priced ones I've ever found. And not only do they have CBD products, but they have some that are laced with melatonin. If you have trouble sleeping, it's very clutch. I took them when I got back from my trip. Helped me get over that jet lag real quick. Use our promo code SGS20 for 20% off SunsetLakeCBD.com. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest. You might have seen him on BET's Comic View or from the movie One Bedroom on Amazon Prime. The founder of the Blap app. Everybody put your hands together for the very funny Jon Laster. How are you, John?
I'm doing phenomenal. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be had.
Yeah, you're one of my favorite people. I always love running into you.
I love running into you.
I feel like you're always in good spirits. You know?
Not always, but I try to be.
Well, you show it off that you are,
yeah.
So I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I try to make the choice to be in a good mood every day.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to have you. And I actually have something I have to ask you up top.
Okay.
I indirectly talked about you on this pod one time.
Oh, okay.
We had
I hope
a show.
It wasn't all bad.
No, it's not bad. It was an interesting scenario that I debated with my old co-host Molly. I'll never forget. I was at a show. We were hanging out after, and you surveyed the table of women about you were dating someone at the time, and you were pretty sure it wasn't working out.
Yes.
She was about to visit in town for the weekend, and you were like, do I break it off during the weekend when she's here? Do I break it off before she comes? Do I break it off after? And I think all of us were like, not after.
Yeah.
That's the worst. But what ended up happening?
Yeah, I broke it off, yeah.
When did you pull the trigger?
I think right after we talked about it.
Oh, before she didn't even come to town.
I think, yeah. I think same time. Like right at that exact same time, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was it, yeah.
I remember you having the hope. You were like, I felt like maybe this weekend it would turn around or get better.
Yeah.
And we were like, how long you had that feeling? You were like, a while.
And it did not.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't expect it to.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
Didn't it? How'd she take the breakup? Fine?
No. No.
You seem so calm about it. You were like, yeah, you know.
Nah.
I just called it right then and there.
Yeah, definitely not. But no. Nah, she didn't take it. Some breakups are better than others. So yeah, not good. But I mean, you know what? Like, it's like, I don't know. It's almost like you're doing people a disservice though. Something's not working out, right?
Oh,
There's something kind of deceptive about that. So
anytime I've been broken up with, whether I was girlfriend or just seeing someone for a little bit, whatever, your first thought is, how long have they been thinking about it?
Yeah. But let me ask you this.
Okay.
So people who have broken up with you and you hate them, right? Anyone who's breaking up with you, it's a sign of rejection personally, right? But are there any of them that later on you were like, but we're cool? Like you could see why?
I can see why they dumped me.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Bold question.
You know what I mean? Have you ever looked back?
Did you get it?
Right.
Did you eventually get it?
I've been dumped and looked back and been like, yeah, I totally see why. You know what I mean?
But what was like the reason when you looked back? Were you like, I was fucking up?
Oh
I didn't
my
have
God.
my shit together. Like,
alcohol and cocaine.
Well, that's you should look back and be like,
some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
But you got sober too, so that helps.
Yeah. But there's some people who don't. I was dating someone one time, and she was like, yeah, you know, the problem is, you know, love you, whatever. But she was like, you don't really see me. And I was like, what? You know, it was one of those like weird, like
very vague,
esoteric, right?
It feels like that it's not you, it's me.
Yes.
You don't see me.
Right. So then she gave me an example. She was really trying to get it through to me. I just didn't get it, right? I was like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? So she said, you know, like the other day we were in a restaurant, right? And this waiter says, hey man, I can't take this 50 because we've been getting bad 50s lately. I took it personal because I was like, motherfucker, what's that got to do with my 50?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm black. So it's like.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. So then
if he's not black, it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean a black 50?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So then there's some of that. The 50's totally good because literally after we walk out of there, I paid for it with a card, whatever. We walk out of there, go to the liquor store, hand the person the 50. They run the marker over it.
Yeah.
Give me my shit and my cash. And that. So I turn to her like, yo, you know, whatever. But what she was saying was that she too is included in the embarrassment. To me, it was just embarrassing to me. But she was like, no, I'm also sitting there. Like you didn't take into account that I'm also sitting there. So she was saying there's a lot of examples of where you don't consider that I'm also involved in this decision or this incident or whatever.
Okay.
But it was true. Yeah. It took me a while, but after, you know, the dumping and I look back, I was like, oh my God, there was so much truth to that. I see why she dumped me. Some people don't. Some people move on and be like, yo, fuck that person. You know what I'm saying? That fucking 50 was good. Bitch should have been on my side. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't reflect. Some people have no ability to reflect on what is this person trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was going to say in that scenario, was it that she was saying like, hey, I was embarrassed and you were like making a scene about it? Or just like your interaction with the server was just completely like ignoring her?
Yeah, I think that. And I think that she also felt like that I, you know, like I wasn't like, hey, you know, that's fucked up. I didn't like turn to her and say, hey, you like, what do you think about this? You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know. The way that I handled it, yeah, I agreed with her. That there were a lot of instances in our relationship where I was just like, you know.
But it's funny because so many times there's this pressure on men to be like, be the man, take charge, lead.
Yeah.
And women are often told in those scenarios, like, let him lead. He's dealing with the server. Don't be chiming in and telling him what to do. Right. So it's an interesting dynamic in those scenarios because I've been there where I've been like embarrassed and with someone it kind of being like, hey man, like read the room, like I'm embarrassed right now that we could just
shut this down and get out of here.
Yeah, and it's something that you, as the woman or other person in the scenario, you kind of are looking at them like, if I tell them to calm down, I feel like it'll make it worse.
Right.
But it's a thing of like, I'm standing with you because you're my man.
Right.
But you're embarrassing the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you navigate that during and after?
You know what? I don't think it's a problem, like if it's an isolated incident, but there was a pattern.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what she was pointing out. And even though she was pointing that out, I, at the time, couldn't even see the pattern until later on. And then I was like, yeah, I do that. But like I said, there's some people who fucking just do not.
How long out of the relationship did you look back and see it, though? Because sometimes I think it's just time. Because getting over people takes time.
Yeah.
Even if you're not with them a long time, like when you get that love addiction hook, it's just going to take time to, like, one, not hate them anymore. It's easy to hate them because it makes you not miss them like you used to. So it's like, I'm curious, how long did it take?
Probably, I would say in that situation, maybe like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere, 6 months, maybe, 6 months.
Then basically what she said really stuck in your head. You kept being
really
like, what does she mean?
You know what? It's stuck in my head because that's the other thing that oftentimes, like, I think is difficult. Damn sure in my, most recent situation was, I don't know, like fucking, it's first of all, someone saying something that's fucked up about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to hate them, but it's difficult to say, it's more nuanced to say this person really cares about me. So what are they trying to tell me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's rare that you stop and say that. You're just, when someone says something, your first thing is a defensive, like almost crouch or lash back at them to be like, well, let's talk about the dumb shit you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus, hey, this person, I was in a situation that was I was eerily able to not get defensive. I got kicked out of the cellar.
Oh.
Yeah, for my alcoholism.
Oh, so this is a long time ago.
Yeah. And the booker at the cellar said, hey, I'm going to take you off the schedule. You know you're not supposed to be drinking. And of course, my fucking, the manager or one of these fucking people in here snitched on me because she didn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm pissed off. And then she says, hey, man, she calls me after she takes me off the schedule and said, why don't you come down Sunday so I can look at you to make sure that I know that you're not drinking. You're not going to just tell me you're not drinking and then eventually we're going to let this bygones be bygones. You're going to get your shit together.
Yeah.
So come down on Sunday. And she said, hey, you are welcome to kill yourself. You're just not going to do it in front of me.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't want to go home worried about you. But that was luckily an incident where I was like, this person wasn't just doing this to be like, oh, yeah, I caught him. It was, you got to get better. This is what we're going to do. You're going to come down. I'm going to look at you every week. You know what I mean? But that's a rare situation in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Somebody that you're with where they say, hey, this is awful and that's awful, but this is what we're going to do. That doesn't happen.
Like when you said that, I was like, oh, that's someone that really cares about you.
Right.
That they weren't like, you're fucking up the vibe of the club or XYZ with my servers.
And let's be honest, she has no reason to keep me there.
Oh, she's banned people for way less. I don't even work there.
Yo.
And that's part of the reason why that place is so terrifying. Because you'll hear of one person making a comment one time, and they're just fucking gone. No explanation.
Not only for way less, but they wouldn't lose one seat.
Right, yeah, they won't. They'll be fine.
Right. So that's a situation where it was just unconditional love. But I learned from that like when communicating with people, if you could communicate and not box them all the way in.
Yeah.
And say, oh, you're fucked up and you're doing this, versus you could say, hey, this is fucked up or this is the way that I communicate and this is what you're doing isn't working. Because oftentimes we just are communicating differently. People are like, hey, I did this. And you're like, yeah, but that's not my love language. Like, I don't respond to that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say a lot of times when people end things, they're so afraid of the angry backlash that we don't actually communicate valid reasons for ending it. Unless they're reasons that are very concrete, like, well, I want kids and you don't want kids, right?
Right.
But like saying like, you don't see me is so specific and like thoughtful that it's like, yeah, I could say this to them and it's like, they're either going to get it or not, or they'll eventually get it. But a lot of times, like the real reason, come on.
Oftentimes, though, it's been by the time you get to the point where you say, hey, this isn't working out, you have kind of train brain. You're already gone.
Yeah, you're gone.
You know what I mean? Or plain brain. Like you're not saying, hey, this is over, let's work it out.
Well, I feel like that's what men do. I feel like women will try to save the relationship.
Yeah.
And so they'll try to communicate or try to like talk about whatever. But I've never had a guy break up with me and like really give me valid reasons of any kind other than like, I just like, I don't see this going farther, whether it be marriage or they're like, I'm not like in it anymore.
Right.
So like your question, you're like, have you ever actually looked back and like thought? It's like, 1,000% I'll think, was it when this happened? Did I say something bad? Or like you replay a couple scenarios in your head, but the truth is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And a lot of times it's like, they often, a lot of times with men, I feel like they knew the whole time it wasn't going to get serious.
Right.
That's like my patterns. It's always like couple months.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's at the point, it's like, I'm invited to this wedding. You're going to come? And they're like, oh, no. That's when they bail. They're like, oh, I got to meet your friends? Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
But that like hurts me because I look at them, I'm like, you knew the whole time, didn't you? Like, you knew the whole time.
I bet you more often than not, guys did not know the whole time. But I will say this. The word wedding is a fucking horrifying word
scary. I know.
To men.
That's a specific example.
Yeah.
That or dinner with your family. I had someone dump me because of that.
I would rather go to dinner with your family than hear a woman say that she's going to one of her friends' wedding.
Yeah.
Because a friend's wedding is borderline a death nail.
Death nail?
It really is. It just conjures up so much horrible shit.
Horrible shit.
Or
more, that's just a for sure, like, this is getting serious.
No, it's just it's almost like New Year's. You know how New Year's people sit around and they like, God, I didn't get this done, and I get, you know what I mean? Oh. It's a time of reflection for your whole love life.
For relationships. Yes. New Year's is like more self, and weddings are relationships.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's self, and weddings are the fucking ultimate, like, let me think about all the guys that weren't shit, that did this to me, that did that to me, and now I'm with you, so what are you gonna do? It's like, oh my God. It's like someone digging through fucking all of the receipts of all the fucked up shit that happened to them. Yeah, so wedding, when I hear wedding, I'm like, oh God.
So basically, the only wedding you're going to go to with someone is your wedding.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's so fucked up? I have been privileged. Yeah. I really have been privileged. I have lived, I've had a good life. So
are we talking about love and relationships or in general?
I mean, just access. So I don't know.
I was like, how much detail do you want to get in? Because we've talked off mic.
Yes.
And I don't know how open you are about that, so I don't want to press you. But
I have fucking, it's, but I think that it might be coming back to haunt me.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that like being spoiled and I mean, I've never been on a dating app, but I mean, there's 200 something women every night at the club.
Okay,
that are in a good mood, drinking,
you're funny,
looking good. They're making money. Like there's very few people that work in that environment.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I know your background of you played basketball in college.
And that was crazy.
In D1, right?
Yes, so, absolutely.
Listen, I played D3.
Yeah.
The D3 men had groupies.
Yeah.
And I remember being mind blown of like, really? This many groupies?
It was pretty
They're not
disgusting.
Going pro.
Yeah.
This is Division 3.
Yeah.
They don't even have scholarship money. They're graduating with debt.
Yeah.
And they're not going to Europe.
They're not going to Europe.
Where do you think this is going that you're like on this guy's dick that hard?
Yo, we had first of all, we had campus, and then we were in when I played ball in Minnesota, we were in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was my DNA is all over that city. You know what I'm saying? If you fucking ran a black light over Minneapolis, you'd be like, you fuck here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
we'd find all your kids.
Oh my goodness. All over that fucking city, yo. Yo, it was so.
Not only are you privileged, but you're lucky.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Lucky.
I didn't masturbate until well into my 20s.
Crazy.
So every time I needed to get a nut, there was a someone at the end of that. Yeah.
Fucking Wilt Chamberlain of comedy over here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Literally.
Yo, it was bad. It really, I mean, and now that I look back, it was bad. But, you know, because after I learned to jack off, I just started deleting bitches' numbers. I was like, this is totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't need 80% of this fleet.
Yeah. You raised your standards, which I think is a good thing in the long run.
God.
Sounds like you did.
I grew up.
But it sounds like not totally.
No,
because like, is there any desire of you to kind of essentially, I guess, want to slow down? Like, if you hit the point, you're like, I'm just tired.
No, I
these
totally
fun
have.
nights. Oh, okay.
I mean, I mean, you know, I'm human. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes women are just very, very forward. Like, hey, man, you know, I know what it is. Like, we should really do. There's sometimes you're just like, you know what, you got me. Let's do it.
Right. Well, there's two things of women being forward in New York, right? One, if they live here, it's like competition is high.
Yeah.
So, like, this is called shooters gotta shoot. We're like, you have to shoot a shot.
Right.
Because a lot of times, like, you're not going to get noticed.
Right.
Right? Like, if you just kind of keep waiting, it's like, do something. Make a move. Two, there's a lot of other women that are just visiting the city.
Very true.
Because it's a tourist city. So you're working the club. And they're like, this is my last night in town.
And they land in the village.
And that comedian was the cutest, funniest one on the show.
Very
and
true.
I'm going to make my move because if it blows up my face, I don't live here.
Exactly.
I don't got to see him again.
My hotel's not that far.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But no, I work a lot. So, yeah. And my brain's not there. So I've calmed down quite a bit. Yeah. And definitely, like you were talking about, like from campus or something crazy like that. Because there was Minneapolis, there was the University of Minnesota. But I mean, it was so bad back then that, like, if we went out and shot our shot, some girl on campus in some chemistry class that we knew was at a party, if it didn't work out, we had a lobby on campus. And our lobby was, I don't even know how, the dorm was huge. So it just meant we had to go pick somebody from the lobby. Yeah,
or it's like, I saw this D3. The basketball team throws a party. It's all women there.
Yes.
So it's like, you're not even competing with like other male athletes. It's like, oh, these girls are all here for the basketball team.
That was it.
Yeah.
So either the lobby or, you know, we were on the same floor. So you could just walk down the hallway because whoever was with somebody, they had a couple girls in their room. You know what I mean? So there's like, you know, there's like 8 or 9 rooms. At least 4 of them have a crew of women in them. You know what I mean?
Convenient dorm life, man.
Oh, my
I remember
goodness.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't even have groupies like that, but.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But the convenience was like, nice.
Yeah. And then there's study halls. I mean, my DNA's all in those little study nooks, yo. Because sometimes your roommate's fucking. So I was like, yo, we'll just turn the light off in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm being polite.
Yeah.
I'm being polite.
I'm going to do the right thing.
I gave him the room.
Exactly.
I'm polite.
Yeah. I'll fuck you in the waiting area. Because I'm a gentleman.
Oh, my God.
And a scholar.
Well, I was going to say, in your relationships now, do you consider yourself, or I don't know if you've tried, just having like open relationships? Where you kind of have both of this, still you have this freedom of like, hey, baby, I'm on stage, you know?
You know what? I learned like a long time ago that just because you can doesn't make it right. So the number of times that I tried that, it just never really works out.
Interesting.
Yeah. What has worked for me is I date girls or like girls that like girls. So that's a better combination for me.
Okay. So it's open of other women can come in with us.
Yes.
But not you with another woman by yourself.
Yeah.
Which funny, a lot of women would agree with you if they're like, I would do that. I wouldn't do the full open thing.
Yeah, because the trust is very, very, the trust, and it doesn't take much to rock the trust in an open relationship because it's always like, oh, do you really like her? Whereas, like, if I date women that like women, I think it's smart. Hear me out, fellas. Yeah, please, please, please let your partner pick the women.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's not saying to you, do you like her? You're saying to her, do you like her?
Yes. And you find her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's imperative that whoever the girl you're dating is like, hey, I got somebody we should meet. Because if you do that, then you're almost going to end up in that open relationship hellscape.
Yeah. It's like you find her and then bring her to my show.
Yeah.
And then I'll seal it from there.
Yeah, or whatever. But I mean, like, if you're in a situation where you are the one doing it, then you're going to get that question of, hey, how do you know this bitch? Or if you have to leave for a couple weeks, you're going to get that text, hey, you better not be fucking that girl. Whereas, if I don't know who the fuck this person is, we never have that problem. Ever.
You're almost like, I'm never even going to have her number.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Totally not interested at all.
I mean, but there are people, I just interviewed someone who's like polyamorous, ethically non-monogamous on the pod, that do have those types of relationships, and it has worked for them.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, to me as a more monogamous person, it feels like crazy to my brain.
Oh,
because
I totally get it.
like, and it's always the argument of like jealousy, and all of us experience jealousy, and it's fine. And I'm like, it's not even jealousy. It's just like when I love someone, I really only want to be with that one person.
Absolutely.
And granted, the only thing I can say is I'm like, yeah, okay, I've never been like married to someone for 30 years. So I guess never say never. Who knows of like, if I suddenly got married and all of a sudden I'm 60.
Dread.
Like we're 60 in the home and it's kind of like, listen, we kind of both got a second wave here.
Yo, what's the longest you've been with someone?
Oh, I'm I say it's a semester. I've taken relationship 101. I'm a 3-4 month person.
Because imagine though, 10 years, 20 years, like you would be like, you know what?
I would like that, but it's like, I don't know. Would I be in it and after 10 go, we should open this up? Like, you don't really know until you're there.
Yo, let me tell you something. If you're incapable of that, or my brain just can't even compute being with you for a long period of time.
Yeah, and I don't know if
that doesn't happen. Like we should never have that discussion.
Have you ever heard of Esther Perel? She's a big like relationship therapist and writer, and she's pretty famous. And she has this thing about, she's like, yeah, a lot of people are not meant to be in our life forever.
Thank you.
And but her whole thing is basically about cheating and monogamy and all this stuff.
I love her already.
And she's like, look, some people, they're your soulmate for
Esther.
X amount of time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm an
like,
Estherite.
You're on that side.
I'm an Estherite.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's fucked up? Think about this. 99% of the people that we fuck with are not that person.
Right, yeah. If you really believe in the one.
99 are not.
Yeah.
So this idea or this notion that every person that comes into your life fucked you up when it was over. No.
Yeah.
You're a 99%er. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
all
true.
Good. Go find your one.
Well, there's so many theories of like I just said to you, I haven't been with someone super long, right? And some people go, well, that's a red flag. I'm like, is it? I'm like, or do I have better boundaries than a lot of people?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I don't like something in a relationship, I'll bring it up. I'll talk about it.
Right.
And it's like, if we can't come to a compromise, or like that's something that's not going to change, then you're not the one for me.
Right.
Whereas I've known plenty of people to be like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to break up with them at the end of the summer.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why?
And how many people do we know that are in relationships for convenience?
I mean,
a lot,
and not at the start. A lot of times it just becomes convenient,
right?
And it becomes comfortable,
right? And
there's always this fear a lot of people have, and it's more women have this, of getting back out there.
A lot more men than you think.
Really? They have that scarcity mindset?
A lot more men
of like,
than you
I'm going to have to date again?
No, not the dating thing, but I'm not going to find somebody who puts up with my this, my that, my, you know what I mean?
You won't right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to take time.
A lot more men are insecure than you think. A lot more.
Or you talk about economics in relationships, it's like it's a sunk cost. It's like I've invested all this time and money into this.
Well,
and if I walk away, it's essentially a sunk cost.
There's that too. But I mean, I know a lot of guys who, I don't know, guys have, other insecurities. Like if they don't got it popping financially, if they don't have this, they don't have that. Some guys are short. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Not you. You played ball. But
yeah. But I don't mean it. I don't mean to dish short guys.
No.
But
we're all about short men here.
Okay.
I advocate. Hey. I date guys shorter than me. I don't care.
Good. Yeah.
So.
But I mean, a friend of mine was making a joke last night on stage about short guys, and I was like, yeah, I didn't even think about. It's something that I don't think about. But there's a lot of other insecurities.
Oh, for sure.
That guys. So sometimes guys want to stay in relationships too, or stay for much longer than they would have. For fear of, this might be the best I can do. True. Which is tragic to me.
True.
I mean, it's so sad when I see people, but there's so many more people in relationships like that than we are willing to admit.
Yeah, or they don't admit it to us.
Right.
You know.
But we can tell.
Yeah, lots of
you can tell. Those people that are in those relationships and they can't stand each other, and then they take some picture of, look at us in Spain.
Look at us at our friend's wedding.
Look at the weddings. How disgusting. How fucking boring. Oh, when I flip through chicks' goddamn IGs and it's like her and the girls and they're all the same height, weight, hairstyle. Like, kill
That's
yourselves,
so
you
funny.
boring bitches. You know that pussy boring. Oh, yeah, here we are in Connecticut. Yeah, with your fucking knowing how to arch your back. You fucking suck at all of life, bitch. Kill yourself in that whack-ass pool with the pool picture, There's one overseas with the guy. Oh, my God.
I feel that way in New York. I'll see, it's like the herd goes out.
Oh.
It's like we're all in our, whatever, jean skirts and black tank top. And it's like, everybody looks the same.
I'll pass.
Which is so funny because I feel like the reason my best friends are my best friends that are women is because we all look very different.
I mean, you could all look the same, but I'm just saying like that.
No, but it's like, I think there's two things that, I don't know if this is with men, but for women's friendships, I'm convinced helps your friendship. Is one, you don't look like everybody. Because then, if you're someone's type, your girl's not also his type. And then the other thing is...
Right. And then it's like, oh my God, he's trying to fuck my girl. Bitch, you look just like your girl.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You don't run into that problem as much. Or even just with being approached at a bar. If I'm with a tall, athletic brunette friend of mine, people will approach you and they don't pick one of you. And so you're kind of standing there like, who's he interested in? And it's like, he's rolling the dice on both of us.
You goddamn right. Are you crazy? You motherfucking right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like, who's fucking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one of y'all got a man?
Yeah.
He's throwing all the shit out there. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody. Yeah.
He's just putting the cheese down in between the both of you. All right. Who's going to pick up that cheese?
Right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, a lot of my really good friends, I've been friends with for life since being young, we didn't have the same taste in men.
Oh, I could totally see that.
And it was a dude had to be so fine if all of us were like, yes.
Right.
Yeah. He's that hot that we're like, he's not my type, but I'm in.
Right.
But it's like, as we were growing up, I remember being like, this is so nice that we don't like the same guy. Because then you feel competitive with your good friend for essentially no reason.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're just in a, who gives a fuck situation. I'm not, I don't have the energy for that anymore. I
don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't have the energy to be, never mind. That's probably beyond the pale for most listeners.
Yeah?
So. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is something that confuses you about women?
Something that confuses me about, every fucking thing.
Can you think of anything
I'll tell you something that confuses me about women.
All right.
Why women are so compelled. One of the best pieces of advice ever given to me in this business is by a buddy of mine who's doing extremely well. He's been doing well for a long, long time. But one time he told me, he said, John, don't never ask a motherfucker how to get something they don't got.
Yeah, very true.
And I've used that. Sometimes I catch myself talking to someone that I know doesn't have the thing, and I stop myself. Yeah. You know what? I should probably take this question up with da-da-da. So, for example, when I got into the app world, the tech world, I started asking friends, right? And, and then I was like, oh shit, why am I asking these people? So one of my business partners now, somebody introduced me to him, created Venmo.
Oh, shit.
That's who you should ask.
Yeah.
A black guy who created a household name app.
Yeah.
Ikram. Mm-hmm. He knows how to do that. Talk to Ikram about anything tech. Don't ask fucking comedians.
Yeah.
I cannot understand for the life of me why women talk to these fucking bitches who are in no sort of a relationship. This bitch, all my friends fucked her. Why are you listening? I fucked her. Why are you listening? You taking advice from this bird brain fucking, are you serious? And but God. Tina said, Tina, have you lost your fucking mind? And I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how their friendship trumps common sense. Mm-hmm. Why are we listening to this person who's been in a relationship when? Mm-hmm. That will. Yeah. It boggles the mind.
My friend once asked. This is such a good question. My friend asked, and it was like, I'm gonna fuck up the phrasing of it. It was like, are we all? What was it? It was basically, are we all single because like. Oh, fuck, what was it? It was something like, are we all not in relationships because we're all single? And it's kind of a domino effect amongst the group. Or it's like, are we all just not in a relationships because of our, like, friendship with each other? I'm, like, fucking the phrasing up a little bit. But it basically was like, are we our own reason of, like, why that's not happening in our lives?
Right.
And it is a thing of, like, yeah, birds of a feather flock together. And it's very easy to be single when all your friends are single. And then the minute
absolutely.
All your friends are in relationships, it's tough to be single because you're like, oh, now I'm like alone on this hill.
I don't know. I've not found it tough to be single when my friends are in relationships. I'm totally cool with it now. If all of your friends are single, then yeah, it's a party. You know what? And sometimes when some of my friends who know me very well and are like, hey, John, this guy's whatever. I never credit myself for like when I said my DNA's all over Minneapolis. But a lot of that's not because I'm some cool person. I'm around a lot of people who had a lot of options.
Right.
So if you hang out with girls who have a bunch of options, then or guys, for that matter, then it does become, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, or
a constant debaucherous situation. My best friend, strip club DJ. Yeah. So he was DJing at 4 strip clubs. We can't hang out like that anymore. I kind of veered off of that crazy path we were on for a long time. But I had, at the time, was hosting 4 bar shows a week.
Yeah.
He was DJing at 4 strip clubs. That's going to lead.
You got options. Yeah.
That's going to lead to a lot of memorable nights.
Oh, yeah. Well, I find it all the time of just doing comedy, or even in my life, naturally, I always had a lot of male friends.
Yeah.
And I would hate that anytime I brought my girlfriends, it's like all my guy friends would be like, oh, who's that? Who, like,
right.
And all my girlfriends would be getting dates, and I'm sitting there like, how come no one's getting me a date? Like, everyone's feeding off my friends.
Your girlfriends, and your girlfriends
always
would never show up with a bunch of guys?
No.
Good-looking guys?
I was the one that had dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I actually became the friend in my group, or just people I knew, that anytime I had a friend go through a breakup, I'd go, hey, there's this comedy party, come with me.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what? And I literally would go, you're going to be the fucking belle of the ball?
Yeah.
You just will. It's going to be a bunch of dudes.
Right.
And without fail, some dude would be chatting her up, flirting with her, making her laugh. Like, they feel like, king of the world.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, it's like you have your pick of the litter here.
Absolutely.
Not a great litter, but you have your pick.
Not a great litter.
Yeah, but it's just so funny of like, I'd bring my girls around, and then even just one girlfriend, and then they'd like leave. And then throughout the night, 3 different comics would be like, yo, so what's her deal? And I'd be like, what? And they'd be like, she's cute. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah.
But it's that thing of like, that's why the domino effect happens of, one friend gets into a relationship. Now they have this guy who has all these guy friends. And now it's like, come, we're hanging out with so-and-so's friends. And that's when people get hooked up.
Yes.
But when you're all single, it's tough.
Really?
Because it's like, who's got a hookup to do?
But let me ask you this. If you guys are all single, would you guys, do you think in general, prefer that each one of you guys had a pack of guys, or do you think that you guys in general would prefer that you were all in relationships? What do you think your preference would be for your group? That
Had a pack of guys like to hang out with, you mean? Or
do you think that they enjoy being single? Do you think that you guys, when all of you guys are single, you're like, fuck, like, why can't we find anybody? Is it a stressful thing?
It really depends. And it depends on the person. But it's like, people that are friends of mine that like are just always in a relationship are the ones I was referring to that often like will stay in one even though they like know it's going nowhere. Yeah. Because they just prefer to be in a relationship.
I think this is probably the first time in my life that I've ever, in the last few years, like felt stressed about not finding someone. Because before I just never gave a, I was like, if I do, I do. But now I think I am now on the side of I would rather be in a relationship.
I agree with you. And it was when I was approaching 30 even though everyone's like 30's not that old, blah, blah, blah. And it was more going, no, my whole 20s, I very much focused on myself, doing what I want to do, get my comedy up, get everything up, right? And now I'm at a point I'm like, I live alone, I have a good apartment, like I am happy. Yeah. And so I hate when people go, you have to be happy with yourself and you have to love yourself for someone else to love you. Because I look at them, I go, I have loved myself the whole fucking time. I've been putting myself first this whole time. And guess who showed up? Nobody. And it's so frustrating. Like, so now I'm at the point I'm frustrated because I'm like, I'm pretty fucking great.
Yes,
like, I got it together. I'm not doing so bad. And it's more frustrating than ever being like, okay, yeah, how come still like nobody has come into my life for that just long-term relationship, just like boyfriend level of a year even.
Right.
And it's frustrating.
Well, I think, one, you got to up the numbers of people that you're meeting, right?
Yeah. But this is the opposite of comedy of I meet plenty of people doing comedy, but I don't get dates from comedy.
Yes. You know who was telling me this last night? My homie Rachel Feinstein was saying exactly that.
Oh, yeah. And Rachel's beautiful.
She is.
Funny.
Has
done millions of shows.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She was saying the exact same thing.
Yeah. You have to actively move other places.
Yeah, she said that comedy keeps women from being in relationships where it feeds us, because we were talking about the lockdown. And I was saying how my
you're out your
my DMs dried up.
Yeah, they're gonna dry up.
Yeah. It was like one of those scenes in Africa where they just see a bunch of alligators at a mud pond. Yeah. Like, yo, when is the rain coming back?
And I'm also convinced this is why less women do stand up or stick with it. Like, women
totally.
are more like, so the women that have actually been doing it almost 10 years, like myself, like me, Caitlin Palufo, I started with, like so many of those women, it's like, you guys better know we actually really love doing this.
Yeah.
Because truly,
the perks aren't the same.
There's really almost no perks.
Right.
The only perks is you have a community in New York and you have some friends.
And I had this guy say, oh, women, always complain about how they have it so much. And I was like, dude, it's not even close.
Not even close.
It's not even close. First of all, most of you fucking barely hilarious short motherfuckers have never been in any contact with good-looking women in your lives.
No.
This is your first rodeo.
Oh,
it's not that way for women. Not to mention the hours that we're out at night that guys never have to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm never nervous ever at night, but I'm not a motherfucker's first choice to run up on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's whistling at me or, hey, you got a nice ass. There's so many things, or promoters trying to fuck me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many things that never even cross. And then he's like, you know what? You never thought about that. When's the last time somebody said after a show, you know what? I don't really think guys are funny, but you were pretty good.
Yeah.
Never.
No one says that to you. Yeah.
Which means you start in a hole as a woman. Someone in the crowd thinks that.
Yeah.
I don't really think women are... Who said that about guys? Yeah, I never thought... Yeah, shut the fuck up then, man. That's so dumb. So yeah, the perks are not the same. So I totally get it.
You know what? It's like, don't even get me started on meeting comedians' girlfriends. You know how many times I've been sitting there being like, how the fuck...
Did you pull this off?
Or not even just like looks and beauty, but like this woman will have like it all together, so successful. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with this loser?
Right.
Like I'm not at the Cellars. I'm not talking about someone at the Cellar
that
has a girlfriend. I'm talking about I'm at an open mic.
Right.
And someone's got a chick. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Right. I'm like, you support this dream? Right. You're crazy. You're out of here. I'm like, who hurt you?
Right.
That this comedian.
And I'm single?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on out
much.
Here? Right.
But even another thing, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but what I would wear on a date, not what I wear when I perform.
Right.
Like, I can't wear something that's a little distracting, and partly because you're a woman. I'm like, no, I want you to actually listen to me.
Right.
And I've only been hit on shows maybe 2 or 3 times, and it was always when I did poorly on the show.
Really?
And I will never forget this guy came up to me, and I'm, you're in your head. I'm in the back. I'm like, I got to throw out my material. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, and he tries to like talk to me about comedy. He goes, yeah, you should do a joke about how you're really pretty. And I just turned and I looked at him and I go, how the fuck is that funny? Like, I was like, are you crazy? Like, are you crazy right now? I was like, really? I was like, tell me how that's funny. And he's like, well, I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone right now,
Yeah.
But it's like, I've had a few times where I've been like on a date and then I get hit up for a show and I'm like, I'm in a dress. This isn't like my persona, or I'm not comfortable, or I'm in open toe shoes. I'm not closed toe shoes. Like, there's so many things that you're like, And it's so funny that so many guys will be like, why are female comics like really like masculine or dress masculine? And it's like, because we need to be like respected.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a comedy uniform.
We never think about what we're wearing. Ever.
Yeah. Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
I would go on stage in a hospital gown. You know what I'm saying? Ass out.
Yeah.
And not give a fuck.
But also no one would be that distracted.
People would be like,
I mean, that
Jon's
one
crazy
maybe,
as a motherfucker.
Yeah,
yo.
but so many comics are in a fucking wrinkled shirt with a stain on it.
I do it
like,
once a week.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dude.
Once a week.
It's like, it's just infuriating. Anyway, that's a side rant. I was like, I think we have to wrap soon, right? What are we at? 40?
15 minutes.
15 minutes? Okay.
I don't know. You got to you got to up your numbers though. The people that you're like, how many dates are you going on a week though?
I've been trying to do at least one a week.
That's not. Oh, come on, yo. That's not going to do it.
Where else am I supposed to fit them in?
Listen, so think about this. Like I just said, okay, so what's today? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
So there's going to be, let's be conservative, 160 women there tonight.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I'm working tomorrow. I'm working Friday. I'm working Saturday. I'm working Sunday. You got to up your numbers. You can't do one a week and then say, why
well,
am I
you said like
single?
date, like a date that I actually
But I'm just saying, people that you're coming in contact with, even. So if you're coming in contact with that person in your whatever, your most favorable, you gotta way up that number.
Oh, I know. And I've actually been
way up that
talking
number.
with one friend, and we were like, where are places we could go that like the number is more in our favor?
Yes.
And one we came up with was the little driving ranges.
Yeah.
Because they have like a bar, and I was like, we can just go hang at the fucking bar part. Because people like, I don't know, hit balls for an hour and then they like have a drink.
Yeah.
But it's like, I went there one time and I was like, oh yeah, it's like all men here.
Dude,
anyone that are girls there, it's like they're there with their boyfriend.
Right.
Like,
so you got to find at least 2 or 3 of those spots a week. And I bet you, if you increase the numbers to 2 or 3 of those places, then you'll be like, okay, I have, here's some options that I have, and then figure out what you want to do from there.
Well, I was like, any suggestions?
One a week isn't.
What's one date a week? So that's like doing online apps. I'll try to have a date booked. But I'm also very guilty of, I will often book a few dates in a night.
So what?
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying because it is a numbers game. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm like, oh, it's my one night of the week. I don't have a show. I don't have to podcast. Like, that I can be like dressed up. Also, I'm like, then in my brain, I don't have to remember what outfits I wore on dates. So I'm not worried about repeating them.
That's practical.
Like I should make a spreadsheet that's like these 3 guys
really
was
should.
this dress.
You really should. You should put pictures on a calendar.
If you up your numbers like that and you don't have like that many date outfits, you gotta track it.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad move. But I was we do have mostly female listeners, so I'm curious. Can you think of any environments that you think?
I would never be in an environment that was mostly dudes. So none
so
come
what
to
are the
mind.
places you would never go?
None come to mind. Most. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm not even the out guy because, when I was partying after I shut that down, we were in strip clubs. So I never went to
Wait, but there's not a lot of women in strip clubs other than the strippers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to a strip club, Jon.
Yes.
It'll be mad cool.
A lot of guys there. Yeah.
I did go to my high school boyfriend's bachelor party. Dropped by. They were at. Have you been to Riviera in Queens?
No.
No? That's apparently like one of the best ones.
Really?
Yeah, it's right actually in Astoria, of all places.
Yeah, no. I didn't know there was a strip club in Astoria.
Want to hear something funny? I didn't either. They asked me. They went to like a bad one. And they were like, do you know a good strip club in New York? We're here for the bachelor party. And I was like, let me ask some comics. I was like, they'll know. And I hit up like 2 comics I knew love strip clubs. Like, Riviera, for sure. I'm like, all right. I get back from a gig. I'm home. And I hit them up. I'm like, they're probably home. It's like 2 a.m. And they're like, no, we're out of Riviera. You got to come. And I was like, all right, let me look up how far it is. I pull it up on my phone. It's a 7-minute walk from where I lived.
Wow.
And I was like, I had no fucking idea that I was near this.
You got to be in that world,
strip club.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. All right, we got strip club.
Yeah.
Golf ranges.
We got golf ranges, strip clubs. We got to get you some places.
Probably a shooting range, if we'll be honest. But the question is, do I want to date the man that's at the strip club?
Yeah. You know what? They're not as sleazy as you think.
Maybe I got to find the bachelor party that it's like, when you just look at dudes, you go, you clearly don't come here.
Yeah.
Like my friends would clap for the girls on the pole.
Yeah.
Like they were like, that was talent. Yeah. And I was like, look at these fucking nerds clapping.
Nerds.
But then,
nerds.
I mean, watching, truly, what a talent to pull anything. Holy shit. The amount of strength that takes. Yeah, but that has been the key because honestly, with online, I've been very frustrated.
Beginners acting classes.
Beginners acting. I don't want to date a beginning actor.
Okay.
I would ideally like a dude not in the entertainment world the way we are.
Yes.
In terms of front of the camera. Camera guy. That might be my guy.
That might be your guy.
You know?
Director, producer.
Yeah, just because it's like they don't have the desire to be.
There's
the
no
star.
competition, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's like a more quiet confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would require that.
Yeah, good cameraman. You don't even know he's there. That's what I want. That's what I want my man to be. Just I don't even know. Like I don't even know Fonzie's here.
In the fucking background.
I'm gonna Dave Fonzie.
Dave Fonzie in the background.
Fonzie likes listening to me every week for an hour. All right, so
Fonzie, where's the dudes at, man? I don't know.
I know.
I don't live around here.
Oh, okay.
But that's another thing too. Of like, God, I was like, I got a double whammy.
You gotta up your
of
numbers,
I'm a tall
y'all.
woman and comedian. And so the tall thing for men, too, gets you more people. And for women, it gets you less. Or it also, dare I say this, gets you fetishized a bit.
Really?
On dating apps. Like, it's like I'll have men message me. They're just like, I love how tall you are. And I'm like, all right, I'll take one compliment.
Yeah.
And then they'll like keep talking about it. Where I'm like, hey, we already matched on the app, man.
Right.
I know you think I'm attractive.
Right.
That's what this app is.
Yeah, fall back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
that's another thing that I stumbled on, too. You know, because I'm tall and people are like, oh, yeah, that girl's so tall, so hot, so whatever. I'm like, dude, she likes me because she can wear her heels. Serious. And I've been told, like, I don't even take it personal anymore.
Funny. It's not even about heels. It's just nice to feel small.
Yeah.
Like on a basic level.
Yeah.
You're just naturally more attracted to, I feel small and I feel more feminine.
Nothing worse than some fucking 5'2", 5'3" chick. Nothing fucking worse. First of all, they're closer to the devil.
For you.
Yeah, I said it.
Oh.
They're closer to Satan. And the other thing is, every guy is tall to them.
Yeah,
So
well,
they
that's
are
why
very,
they
very-
bother me when they have height preferences. I'm like, no. The beauty of your height when you're short as a woman is you can date basically any guy.
Any guy.
Any guy.
So why would I want to compete with that?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I never thought of it in that perspective.
Hell yeah.
Ah.
I don't want to compete with some girl who's 5'4", 5'5". Oh, hell no. That means every guy on earth is qualified to her.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I think of it more of hearing the 5'2" girl, right, go, no, I need to date a guy who's 6 feet, right? And I'm like, that is 10 inches taller than you.
Right.
That's a crazy requirement.
Right.
That would be if I said, I'm 5'11". That'd be like if I was like, he's got to be 6'8".
Right.
Or 6'9". The math would actually be 6'9".
Right.
And I was like, yeah, if you're just not 6'9", you just like don't feel like a man to me.
Right.
Like you're just not tall enough.
Right.
Where I'm like, fucking, I'm 5'11", you 5'10", I'll slouch.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. You know, we can take photos sitting down. We don't got to stand at my friend's wedding.
Yeah.
It's fine. You
By
know?
the time women are 5'8", 5'9", they've cleared all the suckers out. And yeah. And then I look like a jewel. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I get lucky for that reason sometimes.
Yeah. No. But all right, I want to end on something. How about what's something about men that you wish women knew? We talked a little bit about insecurities, but
I think that men really have no idea, or we're not, I don't know what you want to call it, socialized. And I'm not talking about all men, so please don't send the emails. But I just don't think that we come up learning to communicate like what we're really, really thinking. You know what I mean?
oh,
Unfortunately, and guys want to be in relationships way more than women know. Way more. But guys are going to tell you. So a guy's going to say, hey, this is what I'm into. A guy's going to literally hand you the list of requirements to be in a relationship. Unfortunately, we don't communicate them well. But a guy will tell you, this is exactly what I need for us to have a future. And then women will take the list and be like, well, you don't really need that.
Really?
And yes.
I've never had a guy communicate this clearly with me at all.
We don't communicate well, but I'm telling you guys.
Like they know.
We
At their core, they know.
And when you see some fucking guy who's with some girl, right? And you're like, what the fuck? She just took the list and said, okay, great. Let's do this.
Okay.
She didn't pull out the red pen.
Yeah.
And you always have to go out, or, you know, I know you said that you like girls that like women, John, but I mean, I'm great.
Yeah.
Like I can do all that for, Bitch, that's not what I asked. It's not what I asked.
Men do this too, though.
Yeah. No,
because
I'm saying it goes both ways.
I've been in that scenario where I go, I'm asking for like the bare minimum from this dude, and you're not getting it. And you're just like, yeah, then this isn't the guy for me. Right.
But I'm saying that I wish that, like I said, we don't communicate well. And guys are very, very, very simple. Here's the list of things.
Yeah.
You know, and if you pull out the red pen and whatever, eventually the guy's going to be gone. You're going to wonder why. It's like, I said I like to go hiking. You know, I didn't communicate it well, but I told you the things that I like to do.
Yeah.
You just weren't all the way listening, or and we don't communicate well. I know I still not.
Can I ask this though?
Absolutely.
The things like a hiking, I feel like most men, it doesn't mean you have to do it with them. But it's just like it's something that they want in their life and to do. Correct?
Right.
Sometimes it is with them.
But did you hear them?
Right.
Because if you didn't hear them and motherfucker says, hey, I think I'm going to go hiking this. And you're like, no, because we need to do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you just stepped on the thing that I told you that I need.
It's so funny because literally hiking, camping, not my vibe. And I've seen on like dating profiles, a guy will say like, I am looking for someone to like go camping and hiking with.
Yes.
And I see that and I go, great for you, not for me. Right. But I'm not going to match with that guy.
Right.
And then try to be like, well, we could change.
And that happens all the time.
The camping.
Because there's women who will look at that profile and be like, this guy's hot. And then they match with him. And then he wants to go hiking. And they're like, oh, yeah, but my friend is having this birthday party I told her we would go to. And then you stepped on this motherfucker's hike.
We also stepped on his freedom. That's the other part.
Right.
You're taking away like the freedom.
Right.
And it's like just.
And then they're like, hey, but I don't get it. I'm so good to you. I'm so.
Yeah.
He told you. Like, I swear to God, he told you.
It was pretty clear. Yeah.
And too oftentimes that happens, unfortunately, that, like I bet you if you ask most people in a relationship, what are the whatever things that this person absolutely needs, whatever, to be happy, most people wouldn't know.
Yeah, they often don't.
Yeah, they just try to figure out what we could do together that's a good time. Not what does this person need, but women who are in tune with what this motherfucker needs are in relationships. Because every time I meet women who are like, oh yeah, I know what John needs. He needs X, Y, Z. I'm good.
Yeah.
We are good here.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. John got a girl. Yep. Because she does X, Y, and Z. That's all I am so the most simple fucking.
Most dudes are simple.
Yes. Most guys are simple. But women, like I said, there's a red pen. There's a, well, do you really need, there's a, oh, if he would just, and eventually you're going to wear people down and then be like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He just, what happened? I don't know. He said he was going to fucking,
okay.
He said he was going home and he never came back.
I have one last question, Fonz. All right. So with this, right?
Yes.
From when you meet someone, though, how long till you know, like, oh, I want to date this girl?
It depends. I mean, I don't think there's any hard and fast solution because a lot of it is going to depend on what am I in the middle of. On the way here today, I'm trying to get the second version of my app released, which is going to happen between now and Friday.
Right.
This fucking app could feed my grandkids. That's how much money is in this technology. Over 40,000 downloads. Once I get to 100,000, 1 million downloads, like these things get billion-dollar valuations.
Yeah.
I'm very, very focused. So no matter how perfect you are right now, might be a bad time.
Okay.
But there's other times, maybe I hire some people between now and Christmas. I start delegating. My brain is a lot more free. Then I'm a lot more in tune. But you got to be listening to that too.
Yeah.
You got to know, does this person have the bandwidth to be in, because if they do, they do. If they don't, sometimes you're sitting there like, hey, I'm great. And they're like, yeah, but I wasn't listening. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I've had that both with just we were talking about of like, you got to be in scenarios to meet more guys. And there's weeks that I'm like, I just don't have the time this week.
Right.
It's not that I don't want to do that. I would love it to be more of a priority, I guess, in life.
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, you're not going to meet someone, at home.
Right.
Editing your fucking podcast.
Right.
But it's like,
but you need to, but then that's okay to be honest with yourself and be like, yo, this is a stage of my life that I'm really kind of busy right now, and not beat yourself up about, well, I only have time. If you only have time to go out and meet one guy, then it's okay to say, well, that's probably why I'm not in a relationship right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or
like right now, I fucking do comedy at night, and run a tech startup all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got to ask the questions. It's the self-reflection. You go, would I date me?
Absolutely
if I had
not.
to put up with like my schedule right now?
I
and a
would
lot of
not.
times the answer is no.
No.
But you're like, but I expect someone else to put up with this.
Right.
And be like mad cool about it.
Right. And those are people who fucking don't have no ability to reflect.
Yeah. Or they're also people that date people that are like, they can just steamroll and are just this like quiet little there. Both like men or women, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've seen that. I've seen those relationships where I'm like, oh, this person I feel like brings nothing. And it's like, oh, they like that they just are quiet and will be on their arm. And that's kind of it.
Right.
It's like this person just shows up when you tell them to show up. And that's kind of it.
You know what? And there's probably times or situations, I'm not going to judge it. You know, I don't know how busy you're. And maybe that person doesn't want to be interacting with someone all day. Mm-hmm. Maybe they like what they're doing over there in the corner.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly. But I've seen that. Especially with men that are very driven.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm like, oh, yeah, you just want someone that's not going to bother you.
Or women.
Uh-huh. Yeah, same.
Right? You might want a husband who is over there quietly doing his thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some people want a shadow, you know?
Some people want a shadow.
Want a fucking easy shadow in the back.
Some people want an umbrella carrier.
Right? Okay. Well, real quick, your app, everybody should download and check out.
Everybody should download the motherfucker.
It's called BLAPP, BLAPP.
Yes.
And it literally directs people to Black-owned businesses in their area.
Yes.
And is it any area specific? Is it all over the U.S. now?
It works around the world.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. So BLAPP app, it's free. Free to download. Check it out. Especially, let's be honest, you're trying to get some good certain types of food.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go to white people. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you know who's owning those restaurants, okay?
Avoid the white restaurants.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, so BLAPP app, you can get it anywhere you get apps.
Oh, yeah.
And anything else you need to add?
No, that's it. I mean, it's on fire. We got a 2.0 coming out. So the 2.0, I was actually checking it right now on the train and in the bathroom before we got on.
It also does stuff that's not just food, right? It's literally everything.
Oh my God.
It's like hairdressers, nails.
Everything. Nails, spas. There's florists on there.
Oh,
there's books. There's coffee shops.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's liquor stores. There's tons of shit on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So all you black square posters out there, put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
And download the BLAPP app.
Exactly.
All right. You want to be supportive? Be supportive.
Yes. This is sustainable. Yeah. Instead of marching and screaming. You don't have to leave the house for this.
Oh, for sure.
Order lunch.
And then definitely look up Jon. He performs all over the cities at the Comedy Cellar all the time. But follow him at He Was Funny. Easy to remember. He Was Funny. Follow him.
Funny.
Check out his shows. He might be coming to your city. You never know. And you can follow us at Shooters Gotta Shoot Pod. And I'm Sparika.
Shooters Gotta Shoot.
Yeah. I'm Sparika with 2 A's. And stay tuned for a Patreon preview coming up next. Thanks again for coming on, Jon. I had such a good time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. And only one girl recognized him. And she was like, oh. She's like, he's really tall. He's like 6'4". I was like, really? Which, hey, before anybody jumps down my fucking throat, you know I'm the biggest advocate for shorter guys. All right. But kind of nice. All right. It's kind of nice. It's a little perk. All right. It's not a perk that you need, but it's nice. Okay. Even though, yes, they tend to be trash in bed. You've heard me say it before. Italian men and tall men consistently pretty bad. All right. No offense, Italian dudes. I really wish it could work out with one of you, but none of you have proved me otherwise. Okay. Every Italian man I have ever been with fucks like his mom told him that he was good at it. Okay. That's my impression. If you want to hear the rest of this episode, join our Patreon, which is patreon.com/shootersgottashoot. For just $5 a month, you get all the behind the scenes exclusive content. Patreon.com/shootersgottashoot.